What's up, everyone? Welcome to today's video. Welcome to the Video Game Fight School channel. Thank you very much for tuning in. So something many of you may not know is that Rocksteady is actually one of my favorite developers out there. If not my favorite, I think they've made some games that have really impacted the way I see video games. I do like other developers and development studios, even though their publishers can be a nutcase to deal with. I mean, Warner Brothers is already one huge handful. My other developer that I do like is a Ubisoft studio. So, I mean, you can't even get any worse than that. But I do like From Software. I enjoyed the fact Elden Ring came and, revolutionized a lot of the thought processes within the industry. I'm going to, in this video, share some of my own thoughts regarding Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League and a few things I'd like to see, or I guess a few things that I'm excited to see, inevitably when we get some reveals now that Hogwarts Legacy is out of the way. Many of you may or may not realize that I share the same sentiments with you surrounding this game. There are things I want to know, there are things I'm excited for, there are things I'm looking forward to, because my last few videos have been a lot more critical. I think many have misconstrued that not only do I mean well, but I'm in a position where I want to kind of make sure that we are very accurate as to what it is that we're expecting from Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League. Now that all that is said, and now that we're looking forward to gameplay, there is one thing that I would like to see from the gameplay side of things, which is how the different characters are designed to be unique. Now, this game is a shooter, so already you can make these distinctions from just the weapons that each individual character is going to have, and also the traversal that each character is going to employ. I think this is what's really going to, first of all, set these characters apart. Already you see that, Mr. Deadshot over here is using a series of different weapons. And to me, it seems like it's probably maybe something of a loadout, or maybe when you're playing a specific chapter, he has access to all of these different weapons and you can use them at your pleasure or whatever it is you want to do. So seeing these different weapons being used in different areas of these gameplay trailers should already kind of clue you into how you're probably going to be, in a sense, able to customize your character based on some playstyle. So this is where the design aspect is going to come to fruition. Harley over here is using a freaking SMG to fight, and then at some point you probably see her with her melee weapons, and then maybe she might have a sidearm as well too. So these character designs are, already quite distinct just from this short gameplay trailer. But there's more that I'd like to see in terms of their distinctive factors. And, one of them is going to be probably their talents. I don't know many of you who may have looked at that particular picture, the forbidden picture that you're not supposed to look at, that showed the battle pass. You probably didn't see the place within the tabs where it said talents. I strongly believe that this game probably wanted to take on a Division-esque type game in terms of how they design their characters and still have its own creative spin on it. So what I think is these characters are not only going to have their weapon classes and so on and so forth, I think they're going to have their own ability trees, unique set of abilities that are going to give them some kind of a defining factor that help them stand out and provide group synergy depending on how it is you want to play. Rocksteady is capable of doing this. They've shown this in the most primitive and basic versions in the Arkham games when you're playing with, say, two players in regard to, say, combat, like, Batman and Robin playing, say, some combat, challenge missions, or Batman and Nightwing when you actually go and decimate the Penguin. So these elements have been shown, quite mildly, even with the Riddler, Catwoman, and the Riddler, and Batman. You've seen this tit-tat between, one enemy type and two main characters that you're able to control intermittently. So this is what I would like to see in regard to the character differences. How well each character is playing it, their own role, or how well each character is able to, in a sense, dial into their design. Like if you look at, say, King Shark. King Shark is a brute in a sense. His movement is very cool. Just now you saw him climbing up buildings. I think that's how he's going to move within the game. You're going to be able to leap, through huge chunks of space, just him climbing from one place to another, being able to jump from one ledge to another and pretty much smash into the ground. So these are things that you're supposed to be, looking forward to if you're going to use a character like that. I wonder if anyone has actually spoken about this, but it's going to be interesting. Maybe I'll do a video on traversal. The second thing is I want to see how the story is eventually brought to a harmonization in a sense. Now, what I mean by that is if you actually go ahead and maybe say you take the way you have, say, what's her name, Diana in this story, she seems to be somewhat on a neutral ground, doesn't want to have much to do with the Suicide Squad, and at the same time doesn't want them to harm the Justice League members. So she seems like she's going to be torn between. Now, this harmonization is not only something that I'm looking for in regard to her case. There are other characters that are in this game as well that I would like to know exactly what the heck it is that they're doing and how all this comes together in regard to their storytelling. I'm very curious to see how they go ahead and bring it all together, because I know for certain that with their writing, if it actually has developed from what they did with Arkham Knight, then we're probably going to be able to get something good. I think the biggest lesson they learned from Arkham Knight is probably going to play off here, which is, good writing is really going to be able to take a game to the next level. Arkham Knight, I think, mainly suffered from its writing overall, the way the story was structured. Now, some of you might say, the Batmobile, but the story pretty much incited the fact that you had to actually run around with the Batmobile, because somebody wrote into the story that the Arkham Knight showed up in Arkham with an entire army with drones and, remote controlled tanks. So what else would Batman have used to take on these? Not a normal Batmobile. So you already had this Batmobile weaved into the entirety of the story. And I'm hoping that they tried to stay away from a lot of these same errors that were made in their last video game. So looking forward to Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League. These are two things that I'd like to see. I'd probably be in a position where I want to do some more breakdown of some other things, and I'll share them with you in other videos to come. So thanks for watching. Let me hear your thoughts in the comment section, and hopefully we'll talk pretty soon in another one. Peace out.